Now, back 20 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be debt-free. I no longer wanted to owe anyone. And actually, more accurately, it was about 22 years ago. And I put those wheels into motion and was successful at becoming debt-free. Outside of your usual utilities and expenses that you have to pay, such as insurances and things that come up every year or biannually. Those are things that you just have to do. But what is so great about me sharing this news with you is I'm now 56 years old, and 22 years ago, I should have made this list. Are 15 things that poor people waste their money on by Warren Buffett. Stick around, you're going to enjoy this one. Hello and welcome. This is the Dandy DIYer and I'm Elizabeth. Today I'm sharing with you Warren Buffett's list of 15 things that poor people waste their money on because it makes sense, and of course I'm going to give you my opinion. You can fast forward through that part, but I will share with you someone at age 56 who did do these very things, and it will accomplish you to be debt-free. And I accomplished that less than 5 years ago, except for, our regular expenses, utility bills, things that come up annually or biannually, such as insurances, your taxes. But we have truly enjoyed that freedom and being able to breathe easier. And if you're looking for some ideas, tips, or knowledge thereof, or even just a list to go by, these are some things you can govern yourself by, and I promise you, you will see your bank account going up, because if you're wasting your money on these things, and I call it poor people problems, your bank account will be drained. Your wallet will be empty. It will just be crickets coming out of there. It's just awful, and it will just drain you dry. It'll just suck it up, and you'll suddenly be broke all the time. You're stressed. You're trying to borrow from Peter to pay Paul, balance and juggle all this stress and things. And it's just like, the debt is higher than what your income is, and it just keeps coming in, and you're fighting that vicious cycle over and over again. I know you get the gist, but moving on. Number one is an education or a skill that does not increase your income. In other words, get an education in a job that it has a ceiling you can't get but so high, or it equips you for that one skill, but you can't advance yourself in any way financially, so it's not increasing your bottom dollar. Or going to college, not even really knowing what it is you truly want to do, or you don't feel a desire to be pulled in that direction. I will tell you personally, when I came up as a country girl and raised on a farm, we females were not truly influenced to seek a higher education. It was really old-fashioned. We were taught to be good wives and good mothers, and hopefully marry well, or marry a gentleman who would work hard and provide for his family. To trust in God and to have faith and to be frugal and be able to have skills that can help you along the way. So I will tell you from a personal standpoint of view, I was an 80s girl. So when I was coming along, naturally I was pulled and desired to seek a higher education. There were many things that I desired to do. And I can tell you, starting out, I wanted to go into cosmetology from high school on out. So this is what happens when the world goes round. I was 50 years old before I ever became a licensed cosmetologist. So I did seek out and complete something that I desired when I was young. And I'm happy to say that I do enjoy doing that. I was 36 years old before I actually got started really good and going in what I felt like I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I knew that in my early 30s, but I was around 34 before I really knew or felt like this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. So what I am saying is, if you're viewing this video and you are a young woman or a young man and you haven't decided, wonderful, because you're right there where you're supposed to be. People are usually in their 30s before they ever figure out what they want to do for the rest of their life. And if you are much older and decide to seek out something you always wanted to do when you were younger, grab a hold of those reins. You only have one life to live. Go live it. Because like I said, I was 50 years old before I got my cosmetology license. I'm now licensed in chemical and art. And that is what you get when you finish cosmetology. It is a double credit degree. So I now have my college. Now I saw other careers and things along that path because you've got to keep making money, income, and pay your bills. All I'm saying is go pursue your dreams. It is never too late. What would I recommend for those who might be viewing this video to consider as careers that will give them the education they need and the skill set that will carry on for years to come, and they will be able to increase their income, fatten up their bank account, and their wallet start accumulating a little bit of money in it instead of it always hearing crickets. I would recommend electricity, water and sewer, heating and air, of course medical, and if you are going to go into any kind of like serious stuff like engineering type, maybe seek out welding. And all of these fields, male and female, work really, really well in. And if you are in the technical field, maybe look into the specialties, because that is an oversaturated field now. And people who have become educated in technology and engineering cannot even find work. So I would recommend that you seek one of these jobs that offers a service that people are always desiring. Also, anything to do with gardening or landscaping and farming. Taking on some type of farming and doing that skill. Major money is being done in those fields. Also, construction, or at least become skilled in the abilities on how to erect a building or tear down one. These are very, very important because now things are being remodeled and repurposed. And that's really where this construction field is needing and is absent of people who used to be able to do construction. Whenever we had to seek out differences in that's no one's taking on contracts, no one's building houses, and there's no trees and no lumber mills, and all these things are shutting down, construction workers just weren't needed. And so that is phased out. Well, guess what? It's now had a revisit, and there are young people who do not even know how to drive a 1-pound hammer. They don't know how to hammer a nail, but they can show you how to get around in a computer and the backside of a data system in a GIF. That is how things revisit. So I would say, if you want to make big money, I can tell you right now, electricity, water and sewer, and plumbing. And these are jobs that females can seek a career in that as well. It doesn't have to be the front line actually doing those type of repairs, but in the coordination and administration, and of course keeping things running smoothly, appointments, and structuring those things in office management. So yes, those are needed skills. In North Carolina, the average person who does electricity or heating and air or plumbing and sewer make about $150,000 a year. Now, I know you're going, oh my gosh, yes, it's true. It's true. They're making more money than people in data set of technology and engineering. And the reason why is, guess what? You and I don't want to do without water, and we're not going to. We're going to call somebody, right? Yeah. And we're not going to do without electricity, because a lot of us, like mine, my well pump is driven by electricity. We want our electricity and heating and air. Oh, when you go through full-blown postmenopause, you ain't doing without air. You want air somewhere it's cool. Am I right or wrong? So these are things people are going to seek out. Also, as you get older, you're not as coordinated and do things as well as you used to. So it is safer if you can hire someone to do general maintenance, minor construction, and repairs and updates on the outside of your home, or maybe on the inside of your home. I'm telling you, there is money in those fields. If you seek them out, you will never be without work. You will always be able to have work. And what's really cool about it is, because that is a great field, you can always start a company and hire licensed and skilled individuals or train them and then send them out for that work. As you get older, you can promote yourself into leadership position of just coordinating and running units and teams to go out and do these jobs. So yes, there's big money in that. Number 2, credit cards. Oh, wow, yes. The first thing, if you want to become debt-free, is you have to get rid of your credit cards. And I mean, like, nip it in the bud, get rid of credit cards. No credit card debt whatsoever. Pay those off as fast as you possibly can. The only way that a credit card is really beneficial to you is if it is something that when you make that purchase out of convenience, and then make sure you pay that balance off or before the statement rolls over from its due date. So if you charged $100 today, go on there and pay that off in the next 48 hours, or when that statement comes, pay that balance off right then. And do not let it roll into it. If you are charging more than you are able to pay off immediately, don't do it. And if you have a weakness for using that credit card, getting rid of them altogether is beneficial to you. If you're not disciplined enough to be able to control your spending habit and spending more than you have coming in to cover, don't do it. Get rid of your credit cards. That's number one, first thing to get rid of, is pay those debts off and get them out of your way. I will tell you that was one of the first things that was on my list at the very top, pay off credit cards. And I got rid of those things as quickly as I could. One thing that you can consider, if you have to, if your credit card debt is so high, then go and seek out if there is a way that you can do a consolidated loan and cut up every one of those cards and pay them off. But when you do that consolidated loan, make sure you appoint that set amount to go to that particular debtor. Make sure that once you pay it off, you call them and you cancel that card. Be done with it, cut it up, never use it again. And that will truly free up. Your bank account will start growing and your wallet will start having money in it. I guarantee you, you will feel much better. Number 3, bars and pubs. This was not a habit for me anyway. I was a single mother when I met my husband, and he was also a parent of 2. There was no way we could waste our money on bars and pubs. But because we were so young, we have friends who were constantly in bars and pubs. It isn't just the alcohol that happens there. What that does, that poor people waste their money on bars and pubs, is number one, you're impressing people who really don't care about you or have a vested interest in your future, a concern. Number 2, it will truly cause so much friction and havoc and chaos in your life personally and emotionally. You will always be insecure and have doubt in your relationships and with the individuals that you get involved with, because you may have seen something, experienced something, or been influenced by something. It puts that thought in your mind. And there's always that uneasiness and unassurity, that trust. So I truly govern against this emotionally. And most of the time, if you're partying and you're spending a lot of time doing that, your maturity level is on a different thought pattern. Your psychological tuning is on a different behavior level. It's, like, woo, let's party, have a good time, yeah. And just let your hair down. And your brain does not function well on alcohol. You can't have a serious thought and be dedicated to it and put it into play because you're in a relaxed position. Your dopamine hormone is just pumping, your adrenaline, you're feeling good. And these are all things that make us feel high along with the alcohol. So it's really hard for us to go, oh, I'm going to be a serious mind and give this thing some thought. We make rash decisions, or what we'd say, decisions without a conscious or realizing, this is the consequences for our actions. And that also brings problems with it. So I won't stay on my rant about this, but I know you get the gist. It's just not what you want to be spending your money on for more than one reason. It isn't just a money thing. You are truly crippling yourself on the level of being able to think exponentially in an intellectual way of problem solving, because alcohol numbs that part of the brain. The dopamine is rushing. You're truly giving off that good, feel good hormone. And so the rationality, the intellectual part of your brain, the figuring and problem solving of your brain, it is now no longer disciplined. It is now running naked with scissors. It is gone crazy. And your brain cannot compilate and do any kind of problem solving or being truly dedicated and committed, bona fidely serious in doing things that are going to be good in the long haul. So this is not something, because alcohol does just what it does. It numbs you. It makes you feel good. It makes you forget about all your worries and woes because, well, you don't have a conscience. You're bulletproof and 10 feet tall. That's just the way it works. So, yeah, I would say stay away from bars and pubs. Anything that is an overabundance of enjoyment in the attribute of where alcohol must be shared and distributed for you to enjoy yourself. So, just steer clear. Taking a dining experience or enjoying with friends occasionally and having a few drinks, definitely not a problem. That's totally cool. That's great. Relax. We all need to relax and enjoy our friends. But perhaps, visiting bars and pubs, that would be something you need to do seldom and very few and far in between for any amount of reason whatsoever. If you go there so often that they know you and they recognize you and they know you by first name, that's probably a good sign overabundant of using bars and pubs. Number 4, latest technology. Okay, latest technology can be anything from this cell phone we're speaking on to computers and televisions and all kinds of up-to-date technology. Now, some of us are in a field where we need that and we use it regularly, but it is not necessary. Let me give you an example. This cell phone that we're using, because this company and this brand truly wants you to use their technology and their brand, they are all about giving you the most enjoyable and great experience. So these updated devices that have all these new bells and whistles on it, most of the time your phone is going to receive an update. And we truly ride that update out until it is no longer updating and we just have to replace that device. It's no longer cooperating with what's been implemented. Because that company wants you to have that great experience, they're going to keep updating your device. Your device is going to do just as much as these new ones. And even if you are going to update your device out of necessity, check and see if there isn't one that's 1 or 2 generations old, and then consider maybe yours is tradable or sellable so you can use that money on the new device whenever you do that exchange. We literally use our cell phones until they no longer will act right. They will no longer cooperate with us, and we are forced to get a new device. Updating those on a frequent level every 2 or 3 years. I mean, think about it, guys. You're paying a payment on a device. Hello? Yes, you're carrying a small computer, but guess what? You can buy a whole computer center, PC, laptop, whatever, the newest technology, including any accessories that goes with it if you want to really bump it up for the same price you're paying for one cell phone. And you're making payments on it. That is the first sign. Hello, McFly, anybody in there? Don't do that. Just keep in mind that they're going to update that device to give you the best possible experience, and they need it to run smoothly and jihad with everything else that they've implemented. So don't get in a hurry whenever a new device comes out. If you can and yours is on the glitch, look for one that's 1 or 2 generations old. Here's a sign. If the company that hosts your cell service is offering that particular phone on their website available to use and purchase, that's the first sign that, yeah, You don't have to have the newest, greatest, latest. You can get 1 or 2 generations older, and it will keep updating, and it's going to last you a long while. If you really, truly want to fatten up your wallet and build your bank account, consider things. Think and act slowly when it comes to purchasing updated devices. If your current laptop, PC, television are all doing what you need it to do, because remember, you very seldom even use 20% of what's on your PC, 20% of what's on your laptop. It is so unusual I've never heard of anybody using every single thing that is on their laptop and or computer and or tablet and or cell phone. It's just not going to happen. You're only one human being. And that 20% that you're using, it's really important that it works well without any glitches and any hang-ups. The other 80% you're not even using. So I want you to bear that in mind. Check the memory, see how much you have, see how much you use on the average, what is active, what is inactive, and consider how often is it updating and how frequently are you truly using the other 80%. Sometimes just uninstalling stuff that you do not even use is going to make your device cooperate and operate more optimally, and that would be to your advantage and your benefit. Thus, no need to replace it. And I will give you this much. I have 2 laptops in my house now because I have sent the others for recycle. Could not stay up with the update technology. They could not house or run the data through them, and they had to go. The processors were so slow, and one of them was even with a USB plug-in for still dial-up or to communicate with the Wi-Fi. I will tell you this. One of my laptops that are in there is over 17 years old. That is what I'm trying to tell you. When you buy it correctly to begin with, where it's able to last you a long period of time. I've replaced hard drive, it's gone out on that computer twice in 17 years, and it still runs and hums like a brand new one. I just recently had to purchase a rechargeable battery, the battery that goes in the back of the laptop, from Amazon. Just got it in and put it into my computer because the rechargeable battery had finally kaputted. They are made for the long haul. If you buy them right to begin with, buy them with a lot of brain, good hard drive, and an extremely awesome processor, and they will keep humming for you. And only the first rechargeable battery I've ever put in that computer in 17 years. And it's done me so much justice. My newest laptop, of course, is lighter weight. It does a great deal of all the stuff that my old one did, and then some. But since then, I have created this YouTube channel. I do these DIYs, and I needed something that could house my software to do my video edits as well as the videos that I was putting on it. And that one could do it, but I did not like the screen on it. It's never had a great picture screen, so whenever the video would run through there, it would look fuzzy and just blurred. And I did not like that. So I wanted an updated laptop that gave me in real time exactly what you're seeing and how you're seeing it. And I didn't have to replace the display on that one and pretty much just rebuild the laptop. I could just leave it as it is and replace its hard drive and keep its brain running. It works great for other things that I do. And I can put all of my business stuff on one laptop and all of my personal things on another. That works great for me. To consider these things before you move quickly. As I said, make a decision slowly. Act slowly. So think about it, ponder on it, but apply slowly when you go to make any kind of purchase like that. It will save you tons and tons of money. Number 5 is expensive clothes. I haven't ever truly been a designer clothing wearer. I wasn't in the finances or had the budget for it. I did buy more expensive clothes, but they were more classic, and I could change them, and it gave me multiple use. I could change my blouse, and it would match up to my skirt or my slacks and things like that when I worked in corporate USA. It was really important for me to look like $1,000,000 all the time. So I bought quality and I bought nice, expensive clothes, but they lasted me for years and they're still just as nice now as they were then. Can get expensive. So designer clothes, these things that are fast fashion or fads, don't waste your money on it. Buy you something that is quality. Consider what you wear every day. Just go through when you're decluttering and consider, is this something I wear all the time or every once in a while, or is there something I would prefer to wear versus this? I would pick it out before I picked out this. And don't get into the designer clothes wear and fast fashion if you can. That will eat up your money. I cannot see in paying hundreds of dollars for a wallet or a purse. That is just unsensible. It is leather. You can go out to the box store and buy a leather purse or wallet. You can buy beautiful clothes. And if you happen to be a seamstress or have the skill in sewing, you can always make yours look just as great as the designers, if not better. And guess what? It fits you. And that is a skill set that you need to add on to the education as the number one on this list. Make sure that you develop a skill and educate yourself all the time and learn something new. I would highly encourage every male and female to learn how to sew. That is a skill set that will always be needed and has continued to be needed and is in now dire need. And many people have picked it up and started doing it again. When I came through high school, that was actually something you could elect in home economics. I did take sewing, but it was very short. It was what they call a semester. If you're truly going to buy clothing, maybe buy it secondhand, good quality clothing. Get you a YouTube education and begin sewing. You can also follow my channel for sewing and items that you can do and some modifications you might can try that can assist you in updating your current clothes or taking clothes that you bought second-handed and making them more up to date. The bottom line is you can equip yourself with good quality clothes that will last for many years and stay in style. The classics always remain. They are always going to be in style. So there again, a rundown: black, white, gray, and brown. Those are your classics. They'll always stay in style. They'll match everything else, and you can interchange them. That makes it a great bonus for you. Big money saver, and I cannot express enough how important it is to at least know how to make modifications, hem or drop, lengthen them, take them up, let them out, add elastic, take bands out. It is so important, and there is so much education on YouTube to teach you those skills. And just a FYI for those of you who may be wondering, in the military, in the beginning, and even now, there are more men who know how to sew than there are women. That's a fact when it comes to military clothing and uniforms, as well as all the way down to adding their tags and their badges and their promotions, anything like that. It's more of the men than it is women. And not promoting anybody, but if anybody watched Duck Dynasty, then you know that Si is the one who went in service, and that's what he did. He sewed. And he actually sewed aprons and followed a pattern for the girls on the show in the earlier days of Duck Dynasty. There is another way of showing, and came out, and that was one of the skill sets that he learned. 15 Things That Poor People Spend Their Money On by Warren Buffett. And anything that you can add, please put it in the comments. I really enjoy that. Any tips that you've done that have helped you along your way in saving money and becoming debt free. We want to fatten up our bank account, thicken up our wallet, instead of the opposite, our bank account being at zero and our wallet having crickets coming out of it. You can also follow my channel, and additionally I also teach on Skillshare, and you can find all that link and information in the description box down below. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned a tip or two, and at least you have some kind of guide. Be sure to subscribe for the next edition, where we will go over 5 more of these, and along with my iterates of tips and things that I tried or failed and were successful at along the way. Join me. Be sure to share this video with somebody you think would enjoy having this guide, and stay tuned for the playlist you can find in the declutter and tips and tricks that we share here on the channel. Until the next one, I will be decluttering, organizing, donating, cleaning, and saving money. This is Elizabeth. Bye for now.